Okay. So let's begin today. In the previous session, what we discussed about the which type of design? Component level design. So are you seeing any logical sequence? First, we have we have learned about the architectural design, which is the overall design of the software. Next, we get one step inside at the component level. So component level, we have did many studies how to do the component level design, how interfaces are created, what are the different methods we discussed already. Now your software overall architecture as well as the component level, and after that there is one more very important uh, topic. The part of your software design is the user interface, because it is the image that is in the mind of any user that he will keep. It is the perception of that the image in the mind of any user. So keeping in that in mind the user's perceptions and its requirement, we create the user interface. So what is interface? User interface creates the effective communication between a human and a computer. So you can see here what is user interface. So user interface are the access point. It is the access point or communication point. Okay, where user interact with the designs. Okay, it is the first impression of a software where user interact with a computer or a software system. User interface determines how the information is displayed on the screen for interaction to the user with the system. One thing, if poor user interface is there, so poor interface design causes a user to make fatal errors and the software system never used. So we decide, as from the user point of view, we all decide any software by going through its user interface, how it is easy, how pleasurable is to use this one. So if we are feeling any difficulty, we are not able to understand the user, it is not user friendly, we are not able to use that one, then we will not prefer for that. So user interface must be as simple as possible. And user interface is always created keeping in mind the user and its users understanding, whether they are skilled, they are aware, they have a little bit knowledge about that system or not, they are novice or they are well skilled. So in that we identify the users. Based on the requirement of users, we create the user interface. Say for example, you can see the ATM machines, the very limited communication points are there inside in over the screen. Somewhere you will get the touch screen, touch operated, button operated is also there. So different menus are there, keyboards are there, that interfaces are there. Okay, so basically if you see here user interface, the user interface falls, sorry, this must be 2. So user interface uh, falls in 2 categories generally. Other is also you can categorize as as per your convenience, but here for simplicity, as per our convenience, we will study in 2 category. First one is the command line interface, and next one is the graphical user interface. So command line interface, what we need here, we need to know the different commands, different instructions to operate the functions. So here the interaction between the system happens through a terminal using the commands. But whereas here graphical user interface as well as the uh, graphical user interface is concerned, we have the different graphical different visualizations. uh, we can use that one to perform some action to interact with the system. So graphical user interface, what it gives the command by clicking or selecting the icon displayed on the screen. So we can pick, click and we can perform those actions. Say for example, Windows operating system GUI based, you can visualize that in your mind. So for example, you can see this one command line interface. You see here command line interface, how it is happening. We need to write here the commands. Suppose if I want to list the files and directories, then I need to use the dir command. If I want to copy, then I have to use the copy command. If I need to make the uh, folder, then I will use the mkdir. Okay, so like this, there are different commands that we can use to perform these actions. So here the knowledge of the commands are very necessary, otherwise you will not be able to interact with the system. But if it is a user interface, okay, the graphical user interface, then you can do it very easily. And because the different meaningful symbols and commands are used, so that you can understand, you can know, and it will guide you to perform those actions. You can look here. This is the user interface, graphical user interface. You can see here we have these window manipulating icons, minimization, maximization. Okay, so you can see here these icons are there, different icons there. You can click here, you can right click, you can double click, and you will be able to start this calculator. So these are, and certain types are there, we can switch from one tab to the different types. Slide bar, we can slide to visualize more items which are hidden. Okay, this sidebar information we can get. So what is this? We can minimize, maximize. So this is nothing but this is the user graphical user interface, and graphical user interface makes you very user friendly environment to interact with the systems, and it is quite interesting also to use the system. So because of this graphical user interface, this has given the more popularity to the computer systems. So interface design, so it should be easy to learn. Whatever you need to design, new software you are using, whatever interface you are looking there, it should be easy to learn, easy to use, and easy to understand what is happening. Next, the characteristics of user interfaces. What are the characteristics of user interface? You can see here different characteristics are there. While designing, we need to while designing the user interface, we need to keep in mind these things. Like first one is the attractiveness. Attractiveness means pleasurable, pleasant, aesthetic, with appropriate color combination. The layout or the interface look to the user. Next one is this is the clear. Clear means clarity regarding how to get in the software interface to complete the task and come out. So this one. Next, you can see here we have the concise. Okay, so user won't spend too much time reading the articles, whatever is there, how to use they don't like to spend more time. So it is recommended to keep things brief and clear so that he can use easily without spending much more time. Next one, you can see here the efficiency. Efficient, you can see here. So efficient means allows users to perform different functions, okay, fast and with less effort. Different functions are there, he can do very fast and with a very less efforts. So this type the efficient interface should be there. Next one is the consistent. Consistent means consistent interfaces. Interface allows users to develop usage patterns. Okay, usage patterns. User will learn what different buttons and icons look like, and user will recognize them and realize what they do in the different context. Okay, next you can see here familiarity. Familiar, this is one characteristic you can see here. Familiar means if the user checks out for the first time, the interface elements are found at the places expected. Okay, so say for example, if you can see here in the previous example, file menu is there, some menu is there. Okay, so if you are familiar with some systems, suppose generally what we keep in edit option is there, na edit menu is there in your MS Word or any. So we have the different number of, like you can say there will be cut, copy, paste. So different commands will be there inside that. So your expectation will be, because you are now familiar with this environment, your expectation will be there to find these different commands under this location. Okay, so familiarity helps, it makes the work easy and it makes the work fast. uh, Otherwise what you will do, you will be able, you will be going on searching where that type of action is there. That function is there, icon is there, whatever, how to perform particular action or task. So familiarity will help you to make the work easily understandable, and you can do the work fast. Next, this one, forgiving. What is meaning of forgiving? Forgiving means uh, as user are prone to do many errors. Is prone to do many errors. Something we are doing in the system, some maybe some unwanted unknowingly unwanted task we did. So what our requirement will be there to go back, means you can do the undo, you can reset. Okay, these type of things you can the facility should be there. Next one is the responsive. Responsive means what you will whatever actions you did, whatever actions you did through the interface, the in response should come immediately or within a expected time, whatever you assume or what a system is assumed to be. Okay, otherwise what will happen, you will feel stress, you will feel frustrated, why this work is not happening, why this is slow, why it is not responding. Sometimes this type of errors also come, that your system is not responding or unresponsiveness. This type of errors you might have seen. So this is the thing that we need to keep in mind. Next one is the, so in responsiveness, long waiting is not allowed. Whenever you clicked, immediately the effect should come. If you clicked on certain button, so immediately effect should come that we have clicked. It should not be silent for a long moment, and then response may come. So this type of thing should not happen in the good user interface. So in the interface design, typical errors, what are those different errors that may occur? So lack of inconsistency, lack of consistency, too much memorization, okay, no guidance. So this type of different errors are there. Consistency is not there, then again a problem. Consistency there, you can recognize the work. Okay, these icons, these menus are used for which purpose, you can identify very easily if consistency is there. Too much memorizations means every time you for using the system, you need to remember the different different action controls. Like you can see, say for example, for saving some file, you can use the shortcut like Control S, this type of. So memorization means you need don't put the burden over the user. Don't put the burden to the user's mind to memorize the things. Otherwise, he will be full. He will be. He will feel board using this the system. We need to give a lesser memorization to the user. He can easily do the work. No guidance, no help, this type of problem also comes. No help, no user guidance is there. Some problem is coming, the user is struggling. Okay, no help is there. Some error came, he is struggling for the error to be corrected and not getting any solution. So this type of typical design errors may be. No context sensitivity is not there. Poor response. Already I did. What is the meaning of response? Okay, response means what you can see. This is a very good term that you need to understand. Suppose your one system is there, one system, okay, is there. Here you have put some task, okay, like J1, J2, J3, like you have did. So whenever you given some input, so the time of submission of this task, any task you submitted to your system, when the first output comes, so that is the time interval is called the response time. Means first output, not all output. When the output start coming, that time. So we need to decrease this response time. Okay, so poor response problem is also there. Okay, this was unfriendly and arcane. Arcane means some to keep the something concealed, to keep secret. Okay, so unfriendly interface is there. So these are the different design errors that generally occurs at the time of user interface design. So what are the golden rules? The golden rules, what it does, first one is the place the user in control, reduce the user's memory, load, make the interface inconsistent, make the interface inconsistent. So these golden rules actually form the basis for a set of user design principles that guide the important aspect of software design. If you follow these golden rules, definitely you will be able to design the good user interface. So that is why this is written. These keeping in mind these golden rules framed. So first one is the place the user in control. Place the user in control. It contains the different subtopics. So what is the first point? First point is the define interaction modes in a way that does not force a user into unnecessary or undesired actions. Okay, so for example, you can see spell check. You are using the word processor. In the word processor, at some point of time you need to check the spelling. So spell checker option is there. So there must be the facility. Okay, so you can go into the spell checker easily, and you can after completing that spell check, you can come out, you can exit from that work without any effort. So this type of this is called the interaction modes in a way that does not force a user into unnecessary or undesired desired actions. Next, provide for flexible interaction. So what is this? This what is happening here? Keyboard, okay, commands, mouse movement, multi-touch, screen, voice recognition commands. So we provide the flexibility to the users for interaction. Don't stick on one type of interface. Okay, so mouse, you can some point of time we can use the mouse. Okay, pointing device, as a pointing device. Touch screen we can use the keyboard. So voice recognition system is there. Nowadays it is coming. Now the whatever we are knowing, we are having the CLI, we are having the GUI. Okay, now voice based interface is also coming. Okay, Alexa, you may be knowing Alexa, how it is working. You can you can give the commands, you can give the instructions. Based on your instruction, Alexa will give the response. Okay, so now new type of that interface is now created, that is the voice based. So you can see here, so this flexibility should be there for the user. Allow user interaction to interruptible and undoable. Okay, whatever action you are doing at some point of time, if you want to interrupt, you want to stop some work, or you want to pause some work, then it should this process must be there. It should not be like that once you started, without ending that you will not be able to stop, or you will not be able to interrupt. So this type. And undoable also, we know we can do some actions in a wrong sequence. We can also do some work that that was undesirable. Okay, or what some document we have opened, we were reading, and what we did some changes in that unknowingly. So what we can do, there must be some options, so that we can make the undo. So undo option is there like this, and redo option is there. So like this, we these are the nothing but some interfaces. These facilities should be there, so that we can make the system easy and very useful. So place the this one streamline interaction as skilled level advanced, and allow the interaction to be customized. Okay, so what this statement says, user often find that they perform same sequence of interaction repeatedly. Okay, so some actions are again and again you are doing. If it is there any facility so that you can automate that work. Okay, so we have the facility of macro is there. You can find this macro in your Excel. So macro option we can use. We can save the step sequence of step from starting to end, from S to starting to end. So suppose for some particular task. Okay, suppose you can take the example of creating the graph. So creating a pie chart or any type of graph, it may be the frequent repeated task for you. So what you can do, you create one macro, and using that macro, within a few click, within one click on macro button, you can create the graph immediately. So this will help you to this mechanism. Okay, sorry, this mechanism must be there, so that it can enable advanced users to customize the interface to facilitate interactions. Like I told, this macro, you can create the macro. High technical internals from the casual user means, so whatever casual user is there for system, they are nothing to do with what is internal things are there, how it is working. Okay, so what you can do, you can hide the technical internals. What are the technical internals? Means if I suppose I am using the Word or Excel, PowerPoint, whatever software you're using, I have nothing to do with the operating system, how in the background it is working. Different internals like the memory management techniques are there. Process management, how it is happening, manage communication, how it is happening, networking part, how it happened, and some other tasks like process management, how it is managed by the system. There are different internal complexity is there. So it should be hidden from the casual users. So next one, design for direct interaction with objects that appear on the screen. So what you can do, this is also very important point in the interface design under the place the user in control. So what is there? User feels a sense of control when able to manipulate the object that are necessary to perform a task in a manner similar to what would occur if the object were a physical thing in the hand of the person. So what he can do? So this type of if facility, this type of facility is there, then you can easily do the changes as per the your requirement. For example, you are having you can an application interface that allow a user to stretch an object, scale it in size, is an implementation, direct manipulations. So you can say in the MS Word you have seen we have the shape options. In that we have different text, square, we have the rectangular shape, different type of shapes are there. Okay, so we have the free hand, we can stretch, we can zoom, we can rotate, different operation we can perform like a real world object we are having in our hand. Okay, so this type of operation, this type of facility must be there so that we can do the direct manipulation, direct interaction with the objects. Okay, next one is the reduce the user's memory load. So what is this? So reduce next one, the point is, okay, in this section we know we try to reduce we don't put the burden to the user to memorize many things to use some particular systems. With a little or very few or if you are aware of or familiar with the system, you can easily use that system. So we don't prefer, it is not recommended to give the user to remember many things. So reduce the demand on short-term memory. So reduce the requirement to remember past actions, inputs, results, whatever was there you did. For example, provide the visual cues means some guess, some signals, okay, some hints that enable a user to recognize the past actions rather than having to recall them. Okay, whenever you previously you have used some system, now you are coming, no need to memorize the previous work, what you did, how you did. Okay, you can start from the point you have you want to do, no need to recall. So establish meaningful defaults. This is also very important. This is what is because this will help to reduce the memorization of different things to by the users. How the initial set of default should make sense for every user. So what we are doing, if some system, some software is working in that, what we can do? We no need to remember that some initial value is already there. With that initial value your system can work. The initial set of default should make sense for user, for the average users, those who are not knowing. Allow the user to specify individual preferences as well. And what is that? Provide the reset options to enable redefinition of the original default values. I will tell you the one scenario you might have seen, you have observed, you have experienced. At the time of installation, sometimes at the time of installation, software installation, it asks for some initial value to be entered. Okay, then you need to know customize option is there, default is there, typical is there, like that. Typical, customize option this type of option is there. Suppose if these options are not there, then you have to remember the initial value, whatever options you have chosen, then you will be able to do your work. For example, you are using the mobiles, you did many personalizations also. Okay, so in many personalizations also you can do as per the requirement. In mobile screen also, what we do, we keep the different icons arranged in a particular sequence. In home page we arrange the different menus, different icons in a particular order. So these are your user preferences. So user can also make the preferences in the your Windows also. Taskbar is there. You can pin up some application, some apps, some software. From that point, you can directly open those softwares. Okay, so these are the user preferences that you can make. That the user should give the facility to do these things. Okay, if some point of time something goes wrong, so there must be some facility so that you can reset to the default. Reset to the default. Sometimes you are using, if somebody has used the software like you can say in Windows that Photoshop is there. In the Photoshop, whenever you go for the home screen, there are so many options of different panels. Pen is there, huh? So what we can do, we sometimes we close the some set, we close some windows, we customize, we resize. So what is that? After some time we forget how I did. So what I will do, in Windows the option will be there. In that the default option will be there. So in that we can go and default we can select. So everything will be resetted to the initial state. So previously it was there, by default setting was there. So this will if this facility is there, at what some point of time you reached, you made the changes, you reached here, now you are not comfortable to do you want to undo, but you are not able to do this one. So what you will do, you go to the previous setting and you can reset the whole thing. So if you will reset, so what will happen, you will come to the default setting. So no, so what is happening here, you are not remembering anything, just you are going to the default and you are clicking there and default setting is now coming. So that's why we are avoiding in this way the memorization part. So define shortcuts that are intuitive. So what is this? So some shortcuts we also define. How we define the shortcuts, and that will be some meaningful. Will not select anything randomly. So say for example, we can use this shortcut for copy. Control C, copy. So this type of shortcut, which is meaning C stand for copy, na? So this can we use. We have the control plus C, and for closing the window you are having na Alt plus F4 we are using to shut down the systems. This type. So what are these? These are the shortcuts, and we use the shortcuts meaningful. Suppose if I say cut command is there. So what we use? We use the CTRL control plus X. X means cut, like that, control X. So these meaningful name we use for shortcuts. So it defines the shortcuts that are intuitive. When using mnemonics to accomplish a system function, it should be tied to the actions in a way that is easy to remember. So if you are using in this way, suppose if I use in place of C something else, if I use Y or Z or whatever, so the meaning it will be not easy to remember, because C directly refers to the copy. So control C means copy. So the visual layout of interface should be based on the real world metaphors. Okay, so real world metaphors means whatever in the real world we are using something, same thing we can use in the virtual world. Like checkbox look like in the in the physical world, or check register whatever is there. So same type of icon, same type of images, same type of interface we can prepare in our user interface also. Okay, so uses of checkbox or check register metaphor in bill payment system. So this will make easy to understand. So disclose the information in a progressive fashion. This is also very important. Don't give the information at once completely. It should be in a progressive manner. Otherwise, the user will be confused by saying the uh, by looking the complex thing. Complex thing will lead to leave the system. So what is their underlined function? It is one of a number of functions under a text style menu. However, every underlying capability is not listed. User must pick underlining, then all underlining options are presented. So you can, to understand uh, this point, you have seen menus are there. Menus are there in your software. Suppose file menu is there. In file menu, so what is this? We are hiding the different sub tasks that will be inside it. So what we do, initially we have the file menu. When we'll put the cursor or we will click here, then one drop down list comes and different subtasks we can see here. Okay, new, open, save as, these different things. We can't show, we are not showing everything in a one place to increase the complexity. We are going in a progressive way. Okay, we are going in a progressive way. So meaning of this one, disclose the information in a progressive function, not at in a one go. So make the interface consistent. Consistency we already discussed. So what is meaning of this one? Allow the user to put the task into meaningful context. So what it will help, how it will help, if you will keep the interface in a consistent and meaningful manner, you can recognize the actions, you can recognize the set of tools that you use for that particular task to perform that task. So consistency will be there. Consistency means if I am using control plus, okay, plus C for copying, don't confuse me by changing this one, C be replacing with some other things. Don't do this type of thing. And also, so here one point is the allow the user to put the current task into the meaningful context. Meaningful context. So for that, how you will identify? So you provide the indicators. Indicators means you whatever window is there, you in the window you write the title. Okay. Graphical icons, consistent colors coding. You use these things, these indicators that enable the user to know the context of the work at hand. So what happens if I am using this system right now, or you are using your system? So what happens now? Simultaneously you do many works. You have opened many windows. Suppose you feel you think about the scenario, you think about the situations. If that Windows title is not there, how you will identify? Okay, if some graphical icons are not there to identify, suppose my Chrome is opened. Okay, so in the Chrome that graphical Chrome symbol icon is there, its logo is there, I can identify very easily. It has certain color, because of that I can identify that one. And it all Windows title is also there. In that title it is written which tab you have opened, you are switching to which tab, you have opened which software, and what action you are doing currently. So this will make you allow the user to put the current task into a meaningful context. Next one is the maintain consistency across a family of applications. So this one, what I told, this one control plus C. So maintain consistency across a family of applications. A family of applications means those application will be similar to that. They will be part of some software. If family of applications means, you can see, if I say Microsoft Office, Microsoft Office is there. It has different this package has the MS of it is having the MS Office having the Word, PowerPoint, Excel, different thing there. For example, MS Word is there. Okay, MS Word is there. For MS Word and Excel, whatever is there, if I change the icons and whatever icons are there and menus are there inside that with a different set of meanings, then it will be a complex, situation will be complex. So you have to maintain the consistency. Whatever file menu you are using, window you are using the edit window you are using. So the consistency should be there. Don't make the changes to make the application inconsistent. Next one is the make the interface consistent. This contains the if the past interactive models have created user expectations. Okay, if the past interactive models have created user expectation to do not make the changes unless there is a compelling reason to do so. So you can see here control plus S for control plus S used for the saving for file. So for saving the file we are using the control plus S. Don't change this control S to alt S. Okay, because frequently we are using this one. If you are changing this one, then I need to again remember this one. Okay, don't change. In certain conditions, in some very rare conditions, you can change if that control plus S or this type of commands are used. It depends upon the scenario. It depends upon the context. If the compelling situation is there, you can change, but don't do regular. If the situation is normal, if it is not some special demand, don't do this one. So next, the process we will now understand. So we up to now we have discussed what is the user interface, what are the command line, graphical user interface, what is the how the voice based communication is done. So many things we discussed about the and what are the golden rules that we will follow to build a very effective user interface. So now the time comes to learn the interface design process. So what is the interface design process? Then we need to know. So for building effective user interface, so our prime objective is here. Whatever user interface you will build, you have to keep in mind one thing. That is the user. Who is going to use that? So you have to keep in mind the user's preferences, user's need, and his level of understanding. Okay, its age, his gender. Okay, you need to know the profiles of the user, physical ability, his education, cultural, ethnic background, motivation, goals, and personality. Okay, these things will lead. This will help you to design the user interface in a better and effective manner. If you are skipping these things, definitely the problem will come to you. So we can categorize these users like novice. Novice means they are not knowing anything about the system that you are building. They are very new. So no syntactic knowledge of the system and a little semantic knowledge about the application or computer usage in the general. They are very novice to that. They are new. Next one is the knowledgeable, and they are neither they are novice and neither they are the very expert in that. So this type of persons, users groups are there. Then what you will do? Reasonable. What these persons, what they will have? They will generally have the reasonable semantic knowledge of the applications, but relatively low recall or syntactic information necessary to use the interface. Next one is the knowledgeable. Frequent users, they have the good semantic means they know the meaning, what they are doing, they are understanding the things properly, and they are also having the syntactic knowledge that often leads to the power user syndrome. So they are the good user. That is individual who look for the shortcuts. They generally go for the shortcut and they do the work very efficiently, and because they abbreviate the modes of interactions. So we keep in mind, I told, whenever you are going to do you are going to do the user interface design, you have to keep in mind the users. But you can remember that whenever you designer is doing this one, so designer himself keeps in place of the user, and he does the designing parts. So he generally he thinks that I am the user. So I am a user when he thinks, then because his level of understanding is more than gap, the communication gap, the understandability gap is very difficult to map. So this is the user interface design process. So you can start from this one interface analysis part and modeling. The second one is the interface design. First you will analyze this. Next, then you will do the designing part. After that you will do the interface construction or building. After that, what you will do, you will validate the interface what you have built, whether the interface is working for which you have prepared for the particular task. So that task is being done or not. So that thing you have to follow. So how many 4 steps are there? This one third, this one is the 4. So this is also a spiral kind of thing. You can see this diagram is a spiral. You can see here spiral. So iteratively will evolve to a full-fledged interface. Okay, so what is the user interface design? First point, the interface analysis and modeling. So what is happening here? Analysis based on the users. Okay, understanding whatever requirement analysis you did, and you have assessed the user's requirement, who will directly interact with the system. Okay, what is his skill level, what is the business understanding and general respectiveness of the new system. These things are recorded and user categorization is done. Previously we did this one, like for this one. So next what you will do, after that you will requirement analysis you will finish. Next one is the interface designing, then designing part we will do. So the goal of the interface design is to define a set of interface objects and actions and their screen representations that enable a user to perform all defined tasks in a manner that meets every usability goal defined for the system. So here in designing part we decide the objects, we decide some actions. For that we use the certain representations. Suppose for cut, generally what we are using the scissor symbol. So this type of representation we do at the time of design process. Just one thing I am telling. Similarly, you can visualize the windows or any interface. So you can see for home safe home security system, we have seen. So you can see here the same thing, the requirement analysis, designing the everything we did in the component level, everything we did. Then final interface, which we will show to the user how it will look like. So you can access, configure, system status, view, monitor monitoring these menus you have decided. They will having the sub menus also. Okay, connect. This connection means the internet status. What is the status? Open, close, logged in or not. So you can see video camera. These symbols we have used. Okay, next one. We are using this one. S we are using. S means sensors. LR means left to right. In and out means plus minus zoom. This type of symbol we use uh, for the interface, so that user can understand very easily. If video cam symbol is there, then user will be very easy to understand. Okay, this is a video icon, means if I click here, I can go to this icon to start the video, or you can do the different actions based on this uh, supported actions in the symbol. So like this you can do. You can open new window when you have click the video camera, then you can get the different window corresponding to that particular object. So this is what, this is the screen representations. Whatever objects and actions are there, we are having the screen representations. For network connectivity we have, I think we know these many things. In the mobile interface also you can see. In Windows, whatever you are using, Windows operating system or Linux operating system, you can see there. So different interface you already know. So what are the design issues? So what are the design issues? Design issue, first one is the response time. So in the response time, what is the problem? So this comes the problem, the response time treated as a problem. Why? Because if some action you are doing and system is not responding within a stipulated time, expected time, then you will feel very stressed. You will face very frustrated. And what you will do? You will try to stop the applications, or you will try to go out of the system. Next one is the help facilities. Help facilities means, see, users are prone to, they are very new, they are not aware of the how the systems are working, so they always seek some help. They need some help how to operate the system, okay, by the user interface. So for that, what we need, so they need the help, some operating procedure they need. Why? Almost every user requires help frequently, so they need user manuals. Okay, so and you can give the frequently asked questions in a one list, so that he can go through that and he can see the if his problem is his problem, or his the help that he want, it's similar to that listed one, he can pick that one. And there must be they should also be provided with some technical forums. Sometimes we come across with some problem in using the software, then we go to the technical forum, we pose the questions. A similar type of problem they have, some person has faced, so they have given the solution, we can go for that. So, or officially the software we have built, they can provide this type of facility, so it will help to the users. So generally it comes as a very challenging things, as a issue for help facilities. Next one is the error handling. In error handling, what is happening, if you are using some system and some warning message came, some error message or warning message came, so immediately what you will do, it will come with some error like 1020, this error has happened. What is this type of error came, so what you will do now? So it will make the stress to yourself, you will be in a stressful situation. What happened to the system, why this warning is coming, and how to deal with this type of warning. So this type of issues generally comes, design issues come, uh, that the user face in the user interface. Next one is the menu and command labeling. So menu and command labeling is also challenging task that comes. So what happens? So the typed command, whatever you use, menu, what is the menu? Menu is nothing but the type command was once the most commonly used in the CLI mode. The command line interface, we were using what? We were using the CLI base, that was the typed command. We were writing, we have to copy, then we will write the copy command. We have to list the files, then we will use the dir command. Okay, if I want to create one folder, nowadays you are what you are doing, right clicking and folder, new folder option is came, you are creating. That is very easy. But think about the situation for the CLI mode. So what we were doing, how you were interacting with the system? You are interacting with the system by writing those commands, and then you were interacting. Now the time has changed. What is happening now in the today's system? We use the window oriented point and pick interface. We click some at some location, we click some file, we can create, we can delete, can copy, we can paste, we can in the window we can click right, and a new folder we can create, or in a particular drive we can go, and there itself we can create the folder, we can delete the folder, we can sort. So many operations we can do based on the how we are doing, because we are seeing the icon. In that icon we have labeled those icons with some commands. File menu is there. In that file, what is that file? That icon is there. In that you have labeled the command. What is the meaning of that? Cut is there, means you are using cut. So some icon is there, some symbol is there, in that you are using. So this type of labeling you are using for the commands, command, that is called the command labeling. So this is also very challenging task. This comes as a design issue also, because if labeling is not meaningful, okay, so that will also. So how to the okay CLI command for them, and you are label. So it may be some redundancy may come, which one used to for that purpose, if it is fixed for some other actions, like this issues come. Next one is the user design process. This is the third point in the user interface design process, that is the interface construction. So normally it begins with the creation of a prototype. Okay, prototype that enables usage scenario to be evaluated. Prototype means you have constructed one prototype, you have prepared. For example, we prepared like this, we have implemented this one, then we will work for the, we will check for the evaluation purpose. Okay, how, in which scenario it will be used. So it is a iterative design process, continues over interface toolkit. So for that, it is because it is an iterative process, it may be very boresome. So what you can do, you can use the user interface toolkit. So this user interface toolkit will help you to design that interface with less effort, because frequent changes you are doing. If you are not using the any software toolkit, it will be very difficult for you. Okay, so like UML diagram, we are UML star UML software is there now, we are using, we can very easily create the state chart, class collaboration diagram, we can create the use case diagram, DFD we can create, different type of diagram we can create. So this type of toolkit we can use. Interface validation, then the final step is the interface validation. Whatever you build, so that you need to validate whether is working for the particular for the task that we intended, we designed for that. So each thing you have to validate. Okay, so the degree to which the interface is easy to use and easy to learn, and the user acceptance of the interface as a usable tool in their work. So these many consideration we will take care, we'll keep in mind to do this one, then we'll able to find that one. So okay, today the interface part is now over. So we are ending here this topic, that the user interface. So we can have the recap what we have covered in this class. So what we covered in this class. So what is the meaning of the user interface? Type of user, different types of user interfaces, CLI and GUI, or other popular modes are also there, like voice based recognition or voice based command interface. We can give the commands like Alexa, I have told. Okay, in Windows also you are having the Cortana. So, and we have learned the golden rules. We covered the golden rules to design the user interface. We covered the user interface design process also, and different design issues. So now I am ending this session today. In the next class we will discuss the next topic.